For the time I have been in rabbit farming, I have met a couple of people who would wish to start up a rabbit farm. But when you tell them maybe that small or little cost involved in starting up a rabbit farm, they do shy away. And therefore, I thought it wise to actually come back with this particular video to show you how you can start a rabbit farm or rabbit farming with actually no capital at all or little capital. So if you're new here, kindly subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on different social media platforms at Dennis Duke UG. See you in a bit. I'm glad you're still watching The Duke's Farm. Here at The Duke's Farm, we offer extensive knowledge when it comes to rabbit farming or rabbit rearing. And of course, we do training at the farm. We also do consultations, so please hit me up on these numbers. We also have beautiful rabbit breeds. We do cage construction. We do literally everything in the rabbit sector. So today we want to look at how you can start up a rabbit farm with little or no capital at all. Truth of the matter is, it is very impossible to start up a farm without some money or some capital. More so when you want to start up a commercial rabbit farm. By a commercial rabbit farm, I mean maybe with about 50 breeders or even more, because then it calls for some little capital. So to start with, don't think big, always start small. And by small, I don't mean too small, like one female or one male rabbit. No, at least somewhere between 5 rabbits that we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen. So let's start from land. We all know that rabbit farming requires land. That's if you're going on a commercial big scale. But even when you're on a small scale, you equally require some space, which is of course on land. However, with a small rabbit farm, you can even do it within your compound, you can do it within your garage, you can do it even within your shed. Whatever you have, you can do rabbit farming there, because it's a venture that can take up some small space yet get the best out of it. So you need to start small. When I was talking about the issue of land, you can either borrow land, maybe from a friend, from a sister, from your father, from your mother, as long as they have something available. You can start up this rabbit farm within your compound, which in that fence. You can just have cages there against the wall and then start rabbit farming. Let's leave people in urban centers, because some of these things may not actually apply in urban centers, but rather apply in rural areas or somebody that is in a village of a sort. So land is usually available in villages, at least communal land, if you do not own it. The number 2 thing that you need to do, of course, is the construction. Now, if you decide, or if you have plans of actually going on a big scale, you will then need to construct some sort of structure that will house your cages. And constructing the structure, you don't really need expensive material. Use the readily available trees in your community. You can borrow your father, you can borrow your mother a tree or trees that are even on your land. Okay, you can borrow a friend who has a tree, and then you start setting up your structure small but surely. And this structure shouldn't it doesn't necessarily have to be too big or too huge. You can start with maybe 10 feet by 10 feet, just you can even go to the gardens and cut that grass that they use for thatching or covering houses, and you do that on both sides, whether you do it up and then on the sides on the sides of the house, and have your rabbits enclosed in that small structure free of charge. All you need is just to get somebody can actually execute this, and you talk to them. Maybe you get to understand, maybe you give in some little money or no money at all, as long as, because this is not a sophisticated kind of structure, it's just a simple structure, basic structure to house your rabbits. That is if you want or to go on a bigger scale. If you want on a small scale, again, let's talk about the cages. You can do cages using the rudimentary tools available in your area. One thing that has, of course, made very many people shy away from joining the rabbit business in Uganda is, of course, the high expensive material that are used when constructing these cages. Now, cages are overly expensive, and like I usually say, they are the they are the most expensive thing that takes the money when you're joining rabbit farming. That's if, of course, you have land and then you have the outer structure. When you are starting, the cages take much more money. But let's find a way of reducing that money. What you can do is still go back to your area, get free trees within your gardens. I'm very sure in rural areas there are trees available. Get those trees. Come on my channel. I have a video on how to construct these cages. Just make sure that the ground where the rabbits step must be well ventilated, spaced rather. Like, you don't need to squeeze these trees, these poles, okay? Try to leave some space where a dropping can, fall off, okay? And then urine can fall off. You create some sort of the green wire mesh. For those of you who've seen it in my previous videos, that green wire mesh gives us the ability for these rabbits to actually do poop, and they go to the iron sheets where we collect from. They also help us in terms of collecting the urine, so that when this rabbit urinates, the urine goes straight to where we collect it from. So you can equally have the same in your setting, but try as much as you can to have some spacing, but not too big of a space to again cause harm to the rabbits in case their legs get trapped in there, okay? You'd want to avoid that as well. So use the locally available material. You don't need an iron sheet. All you do is just need to set those things up. These droppings can be dropping down on the floor, and then you do the general sweeping on a daily. One thing I can assure you is when you maintain your hygiene, you're going to chase away diseases, which we are of course going to talk about still in this video, how you can manage those particular diseases. So after you've gotten your cages done, it is now time to look for breeds. Like I said, start small. By small, I mean roughly around 5 breeds. Those are 4 females and then 1 male, okay, to make, because the ratio is 1 to 4, okay. Much as, of course, I usually advise 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 at most, okay, because we don't want to overwork this male or this back. So how do you get the breeds? That's the question. 5 breeds, that could cost you maybe roughly around 500,000 shillings, Ugandan money. The dollar rate in Uganda is roughly at around 3,500. So now you know the kind of money I'm talking about. And sometimes people out there may not be willing or even afford, they may not be in position to afford this kind of money. So what you do is look around in your area. There are different established farmers who are looking for outgrowers, people to grow and then supply them with rabbits. Look at those opportunities. Of course, at the Duke's Farm, we haven't had that program yet, but we are looking at getting sponsors. People have, promised, so we can have outgrowers. We supply them with cages. We supply them with the rabbits, and then they grow the rabbits. We help the community get some small money, because at the end of the day, we shall be buying those rabbits from them at a much fair price than the cheaper price that is on the market. So look for a farmer who is already established and is looking for outgrowers. Most times they do give out free breeds, so you could also benefit from there. If not, you can go still to this established farmer and strike a deal. By this I mean, talk to them, tell them, hey, I need these breeds, but within 1 or 2 months, I should be able to make sales and then give you. Of course, you can do that. You can go pick these breeds on a loan and then breed them. And after maybe 2 or 3 months, after these young ones have grown the kids, you can even promise to give him 2 liters, or every liter, or the first liter, you make sure that every liter on every rabbit, you take it back to this person, maybe at 3 months. You get. So the first liter, you sacrifice it back to the what? To the person who gave you the rabbits. I'm just giving you options, and then maybe you can look at the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth liter. Usually when somebody looks at it in a business perspective, they'll of course be making money, because rabbits give roughly birth to about the little, the smallest being 5, but it can even give birth to 8. So imagine somebody giving you 5 mature rabbits that would have cost you maybe 500,000 Uganda shillings, and then the first liter that you get, you sacrifice and get it back. So you have 4 rabbits, I'm imagining, and let's say each liter had 5 kids, okay? Those are about 20 rabbits that you're getting back to him, maybe at 2 or 3 months after you have raised them, because we want them to get through this delicate stage of mortality being high and all that. So somebody is going to receive 20 rabbits of 3 months, which he will just wait for a month and sell them maybe at, let's say, smallest being 30 or 40. Okay, let's say 40 being the smallest. Okay, 50 at 4 months, okay? 50 times 20 times 10 is 500. That's 1 million within, you know, like, you look at, you give them that option as well. I'm very sure most farmers will be able to buy that idea. And that is how you can actually start with those 5 breeds that I've talked about, ladies and gentlemen. The other thing that we need to look at is, of course, the feed. I have, on this particular channel, explained feeding or free weeds that you can get in your garden and feed your rabbits, ladies and gentlemen. I will also stress that rabbits are one, and they're not like chickens, mostly the layers, where you have to buy food every now and then. Rabbits can survive on locally available grass, locally available fruits and vegetables as well. You can even make hay using the available grass so that you don't have to buy hay, which is equally very important when it comes to rabbit farming. Use the available weeds to feed your rabbits. I have a video on how to prepare these weeds and what sort of weeds to feed your rabbits, so please check on my channel, scroll through. Alternatively, I have put a link in the description. Most of the different videos I've had, you can just check my description. It has almost all those videos. You can look at the video that you want and then start up your rabbit farm. So now we understand how to get the feeds. Let's talk about how to manage the diseases. I told you in the beginning that when you manage, or when you take good care of your rabbits in terms of giving them good food, giving them clean water, managing the hygiene and the sanitation of your cages, you will have saved yourself roughly around 80% chances of getting illnesses, diseases at your farm that could cause mortality, ladies and gentlemen. And you do this by making sure that the cages are clean, well ventilated, well aerated. You prepare your food very well for the rabbits. If I have that video, like I said, that talks about how to prepare. So each food has been prepared separately and differently according to how it's actually supposed to be prepared. When you also, we talked about hygiene, food, and then water. If you master those things, you won't be seeing diseases at your farm. But if the worst came to the worst, there are certain, of course, local remedies that I can advise you to use. There is what we call guava leaves. You can just get guava leaves and, you know, feed your animals once in a while. You can equally get maize leaves. Okay, you just take a branch and then feed your rabbits. They'll eat it, but in the process, they are getting the medicinal value out of these different things that I'm talking about. You can also feed your rabbits with blackjack. Blackjack is a certain weed you all know. Since you feed your rabbits with blackjack, it also has the medicinal values in them, and it will equally be helpful to your rabbits. Also, don't forget to feed it on the Mexican sunflower. The Mexican sunflower looks exactly like that, and then you can just pluck like 3 or 4 leaves after maybe 3 weeks, after every 3 weeks, or after a month or something like that, so that you give your rabbits a strong immune system to fight off diseases once they have come. So let's talk about how you can market these, rabbits. You can market these rabbits within your area. You can use your social media platforms, which is usually the first thing I advise. Please get online. If you're not on social media, if you're not online, your business is not online, you are doing yourself a big disservice. Usually, your first client should be your immediate neighbor, should be your immediate friend, your immediate partner, your father, your mother, your siblings. Those are your first clients before you look at somebody out there. Like I said, you can also partner with outstanding established farmers and keep supplying them so that you don't have to again hassle through the idea of getting markets. I usually tell people, create the market yourself. So go around, go the neighbor, when you have a village meeting, church, mosque, a social gathering, anywhere, you can just make a small announcement free of charge, and these people will get to know that you actually rear rabbits. Another thing that, of course, that I didn't talk about, this is for somebody maybe in a rural setting. Let's look at people in urban settings. What you can do is, 1, partner with a friend. Okay, you can partner with a friend who has little capital yet you don't have, but you have the expertise, and then offer the expertise, they offer you capital. 2 is look at getting a loan. If you have a paying job of maybe 1 million per month, you can get a loan of 2 million and keep paying as you earn, okay? And be able to start up your farm. It is really not very hard, but it's worth an investment to invest in your money, because trust me, you can't fail. That's if you follow my videos very well and the right practices that I keep giving you on this particular channel. Ladies and gentlemen, where will you ever get such a person who shares free information on how to actually start up a farm using little or no capital at all? My name is Dennis Duke, Uganda. Thank you so much for joining me. Until then, it's a goodbye. Ciao.